Started with some sadness and some burnout, and then eventually became presence and happiness. Hi everyone, this is the Drooby Doo, and I'm going to talk to you about the time it all started with this job I got, and I got it about 3 years ago, and I moved down to live with my parents for the first year, eventually moved out, and loved every second out of it. I was helping people find jobs and helping small businesses. It's really cool, something I still really am passionate about, but not as much as psychology and talking about human behavior. I had an amazing relationship with two of my bosses. I felt like they were my mentors, and had a really good relationship with them and the people I worked with. And then halfway through my time there were layoffs, there were a lot of things happening, budget cuts and things like that. And so I eventually moved teams, and burnout was starting to set in that team that I moved to, and so people were quitting, and basically it was me and one more person on the team. There used to be 6 people on the team, and so I took on extra work, and eventually at the end I was getting depressed and showing up late to work, missing deadlines, making promises I couldn't keep, and eventually was somewhat reprimanded by my boss and basically pushed out to leave. And so I had a harsh meeting at the end with my boss, and it was really painful, and so I quit the next day, effective immediately. And so this was not too long ago. This was back in July, and now it's December, and so for a while there I was in a pretty dark place. I had a mix of emotions, and so I was relieved, sad that I had all these clients that I didn't get to spend time with, and just a bunch of connections, and possibly burn some bridges. So a lot of mix of emotions, and was scrambling. Eventually, it took a month for myself, and then I was scrambling for jobs for about 2 months. Luckily, I came upon a job because of my sister, and I ended up working at the school with her, which I do now, and I really like it. Took a drastic pay cut, but seems to be a lot healthier over there, and I don't know. Took a risk, and it paid off. Not so much financially, but mentally and physically. I don't feel like I am beholden to anything, and I've sought more intentional counseling as of late, and I think that's kind of what spurred on this idea to do this YouTube channel, and really take responsibility for my actions and my mistakes, and setting boundaries with other people, and allowing to give myself grace. I don't know, I haven't felt this happy in a long time, because I was never setting boundaries with people, and myself for that matter, and it's just a completely different experience yeah, there's things I'm still working on, and everyone is, I'm sure, but it's a completely different way of living, and I don't know. I'm glad I did it, even though it was really scary and something that I was very worried about, and I don't know. I know I'll make it back to having the salary I once had, but man, nothing can replace a good balance of life and taking care of yourself. Even with the job I had and the amount of money I was making, I was spending money on being depressed. I was sad, and so like I was spending money to make myself feel better, to self-soothe. And so even though that was the most money I've made in any of my professional life, I wasn't saving a dime. It's not completely true, but like to the extent of if I had set boundaries and I was able to put that money away and have a sense of discipline through setting boundaries with myself and others and taking responsibility, I would have actually, put away that money instead of spending it on my stressors and being in a space that's just wasn't conducive for me. Now I feel like people honor my boundaries, and I'm able to maintain them and set them with others. It's a completely different feeling. I don't encourage you to just go up and quit your job, but just know sometimes you do make it out on the other side. And I hope you have a great holiday, and thank you for tuning in. This is the Drooby Doo. See ya.